for you to come out on top of it all, to prove, especially across the regions here, if you are the one that stands above the rest. Sadly, we are getting a very similar pull. This time around, though, I do want to point out the grind. We had a heavy priority towards those tier 5 armors this time around compared to where they were situated on Gridlock last time. So I'm curious to see how teams might potentially put that to their advantage.
And right now, we do see, that's actually Pumpers, I believe, that is dropping immediately there. So they're actually not even, yeah, we're not even going to get the same drops here. They're going to just go for that vault, grab the camps here, move over quickly. Bald in the same vicinity as them as well. So, and Cap, there's a lot of teams that want to go for this armor here, and that could be a very early sketchy fight.
Yeah, I mean, we see two taken almost immediately there in the hands of Crush All players. The full recovery for Boy is something that will inevitably come out this game, given the time that is on the clock, but it sets you behind in what could have been something like this, where you're getting to the start of these early fights. Level advantage now in the hands of Pumpers. They've got 3. It is only Ooh who has all abilities available there. Chappelle and Chipsa on the opposite side themselves.
Yeah, there's
Hot Biscuit, though. Ooh. With the snipe. There's a reason Hot Biscuit represents strikes around the world right now. The best in the books here.
Yeah, and hitting the shots like crazy right now. As we do see Bald trying to get in there, trying to make something out of nothing, but I don't think it's going to work out terribly well for them. They already lose Ayu and will have to back away. Running for their life as Hot Biscuit gonna eventually disengage from that. They're going to take their 1-kill victory and, most importantly, get their opportunity to move on to that vault.
Now we've got some action with Cap between them and what looked like the last door. It continues now with Moonlight Battlegrounds coming in as a third party to this fight by the Goldfang Keep here. It seems like they are going to be able to push Cap out and away from this engagement, and as a result, take complete advantage of this POI, forcing both of those teams to have to reset in their entirety. One little thing I do want to make mention of is we do see a shift, by the way. We do welcome Rift Walkers, notably here, coming into the fray of our second game. It is going to be a Colt stepping out.
Yeah, so new team, new opportunities, and already a lot of things changed here. Neither of those teams between Pumpers and the Last Door going up north for that for the academy there. It is actually going to be Tim Garfield that runs up for that. Gridlock down below also being cleared out, and our ring taking us up to the northeast. So we're going in a very different direction, one that hopefully has a little bit more stable ground for us.
Well, I like to see the adaptation of our zone. It is something that I do worry about in terms of the setup, especially if we go towards that Dawn Caps area. There's a little bit more space to play, especially compared to the Sky Rat area, but ultimately can be forcing out a lot of those very similar gaps. For Chips Up, finding Bald once more here alongside Hot Biscuit. They'll find stuns against the wall and the shot that Hot Biscuit was searching for but minutes ago finally.
Took a little bit of time, finally lands it. And Bald again will just have to go as a 3-stack. They do have Ayu back up, but again, ooh, that is a rough time for that. They're gonna get into the vault finally, but things starting to get a little bit thinner across some of these squads, and a little sketchy to try and find revives here as teams start to move a little bit further to that northeast.
The train can test it, but not really.
They thought about it, thought against it. You know, don't blame them. We're going to get into Kobayashi's, spend our money, and go from there. And this is already pretty deep into our ring.
Wow.
You can see how many teams are not within this ring already, or just right on the edge of it. We only have Tim Garfield up in Dawn Caps right now, alongside Cap, who are deep inside this ring, and everybody else still kind of hanging tentatively around the edge. Can get a lot of fights that break out here.
Want to point out that Crush All players mega separated. Nidhogg all the way over towards the west side, split by an entire POI away from the rest of that Cap roster. They'll have to look for potentially a camp here. in a bit of a moment. You got to be careful, though, especially in what might be someone catching them out. Kenneth finally securing the full camp. There should be the recall coming in just a moment's time. I do want to point out something that we didn't discuss last game that it does hold a lot of weight, especially now going to this next nighttime in cross period, is we got the armor soul, we got the damage soul, we got the full brunt of weight here regarding these bosses.
Yeah, that'll be probably hotly contested over here. Speaking of pumpers, getting fought over this boss here, and it is fairly odd enemies who want to get involved in this poke, trying to find a reasonable time to move in, but the heal's still hitting strong. They're just gonna fight over who actually gets the kill on this. But oh my goodness, Pumpers now just gonna get engaged on, and that's Blixmig gone already, and Pumpers on the retreat. They're not even going to entertain this fight. They know they lost it from the get-go.
Stolen out of their grasp. They lose those early ultimates and even find the initial wipe there. If it wasn't for the fact that it was as early as it is, Pumpers could have been facing their final moments once again. Another potential early exit. Granted, still plenty of time on the board now for Moonlight Battlegrounds, getting in the thick of it with the last door. Our previous winners here, the double anti-heals and with the Abyssal Grasp, will miss for the time building. Nobility Fields down as Abador just barely misses, all but being the same here. That lava now ticking as the train rolls on through here. Pup deep out there. Is finally picked apart by the likes of Goat. Paz is pulled away. They will confirm that wipe.
Yeah, but in the pull-in response here, Abador is going to grab a member, and Moonlit Battlegrounds maybe trying to get the fight. They're just chasing it after this. They know they have to go in, and they do have healthy members across the board as members are falling in spades for the last door. 2 members left. Abador still on the run, gonna try and get inside of Kobayashi's. Will stay up. No, we're not going on this. You cannot fight in here. Gets the knock, and Unseen gets away with it. Lemur should be able to pick Abador back up and the rest of the team. But in comes Solid, and they are waiting. They are trying to stop. They're going to confront it. No!
Now, notably, we are in Kobayashi's with 34 to go. There's nothing they can do to really stop these potential revives. But I will say, with seconds on the clock and a death box only moments away from being picked up, we got to see something from the last door here to secure their safety, because, I mean, 16 seconds on the board, the entirety of Solid sharing space.
Okay, Pensato does have the push on the ability there. If it can get behind Lemur, push him in and get the kill.
Wow.
It does no damage. It doesn't count. And Lemur goes down. Abador on the run again. Runs into Cap, and this might be it. The last door finally closes.
The risk they were taking searching for those revives, you have to be crazy there. And in so many moments where you find the biscuit, they find but crumbs. The first team eliminated now for Cap with their engagement over to the side. They get their back end, the second win just barely missing. It's notably Hype putting in the work here at what does come as the response of Kenneth falling into the abyss below. It's going to be the exchange of the swap over towards the side that keeps Cap gunning and running. 30 seconds of board. They'll try to see if they can set up for revive here. Play defensive angles, but there's going to be Moonlight moving in for the third.
Moonlight going in, trying to go for something here. They will find one as Nidhogg gets taken out. Height as well will fall, and Venomous, the last member here for Crush All Players, and Moonlit Battlegrounds making the most of a good situation. Now, night is about to end. Want to point that out as teams start to fly in. Violence no longer allowed. And Moonlit Battlegrounds will be able to hold out here, because I don't think anybody wants to try and engage as the soldiers are standing by.
Another engagement over to the edge. Pumpers balled here as well here. picked apart. Bold will find the escape for now. Toomey with that surge, though, is going to fall through just as quickly. Ooh, playing for response as we take to the skies for that escape, regrouping with the boy roster. Remember, this still, though, one of our top 3 teams to come through from last game, looking for what might be their end as well. I like this separation from Snood and Io, especially with the train in play here. That's going to be guaranteed safety, especially if OC15. Oh, he catches it.
Oh, but
good wall, good wall,
the
good
Celeste wall. Oh my goodness. We talk about, you know, abilities that can cause movement, and that is one of them. The hook, the wall, the push that we saw on the extra ability. Those become so crucial in situations like that where damage alone is not enough.
Oh, hey, Kevin.
How are they back in this? What? How did they get back alive?
I'll give you the interpretation. They make the escape over towards the north and find full recovery off of a revive beacon after what was an area that was a little bit too hard to make for full contest, given the fact that we saw some minor fighting. Solid, though, now with nighttime to their advantage and already 1 knockdown. Will look to fully engage. Double knocks, of course. And once again, looking for recovery. Venomous will be the one to escape again here, especially in comparison to our early game. Finds the jump towards that wall. But
oh no!
Oh, lands in the heart of Moonlight.
Moonlit again. The bane of Crush All players, apparently. So they're just sitting, waiting there with that anti-mobility field set up. We do see Pumpers who have set up camp nearby as our ring continues to close. Lots of teams on the run here. Rift, another team that we have not seen Rift get into a lot of action yet, but they are very quickly going to have to, because they are going to move through that area Pumpers is currently holding.
Yeah, fairly early, at least for them, in terms of what we can surmount. It is going to be the first time we see some of them back on the North American ping coming in to this matchup. So minor advantages, but one that, at least for now, hasn't resulted in much action against any one of our teams here. The Heart, Vine Grove, big places to look into. A much more balanced end zone, at least for now. We'll continue to see that one tighten up, not too far away. It is, of course, the likes of Moonlit Battlegrounds. They have done absolutely fantastic coming into this match. And
yeah,
for Solid, continuing to chase out the likes of Bald here.
Yeah, cannot catch up to the train, a little bit too fast, and Bald will again get their revive out here. How many times have we seen them? Oh no, but gets pulled off the train.
You know,
what a great... You know what? Just use it again.
It just use the train. It doesn't matter here. Infinite, it will be the separation of Ooh and...
you should just go down.
I mean, you would want to survive. You want to keep that itemization in play. It's not quite the armor there, but maybe something to work with. In the end, will result in the full wipes, but Bald
they can't revive.
Given up the train. No longer does it come here. Low as they will be, they'll have to search elsewhere to get Ooh back into it.
And I don't know. I think if Io goes down there, they may be able to get him back up before they leave the train. I don't know the timing specifically on it, but they should be able to get the death box now. But that was not a guarantee at the moment.
No,
did not know where that was gonna go.
Absolutely not. It is going to be at least them looking for the recovery for now, and they should come back into it, but it has literally just been an investment of train upon train accident, and now finally getting involved with Rift of all teams. Double surge back over, misses from Toomey there, but it is an initial knock. Boys here, Prideful Icarus to be the full wipe, not quite the grasp necessaries. Be invisible is looking off of recovery, full for 4, finds the deep pull back off the dash into the stun. Scarab with the rocket punch to advantage as the full investment from OC over the line, finds himself in just as much of a stun. The Fight of the Firefox cutting things off as finally we see Prideful Icarus back into the engagement. The rain of arrows cut things off for a moment more. Boy, look for the regroup potential. Mind you, Bald just below this. They have the potential to get involved. One good knock with that most wanted would put them back on the map.
Ooh,
I think they might have gotten it.
I think they might.
It's
but
close. No, there are still 3 looking for Ooh with a minute to go.
Okay. So honestly, though, nobody's really in range of Bald. Everybody's sticking more to this northern side, and going for Bald right now would just put you at high risk. You don't want to take that fight unless you are somebody who wants to get the kill themselves, which, you know, I believe that I honestly understand boys would love to be able to get involved on this, because if they can get the knock themselves on that most wanted character, they will get their member back up.
Ooh, deep investment there. Highlights the backline through the flight of the Firefox. OC15 continues to be a threat on the black line of these rosters. Unable to survive, but it is that knock that pulls Bald back into it. Last minute, they find their grace, and it's immediate chilling that finds them a little bit of safety. Retri is out of this. Now the tides completely have turned.
Old Moonlit Battlegrounds in trouble themselves here. JustReliq, I believe the last member alive, will be continuing to run. The storm is a problem, though, and is hanging down low, trying to avoid whatever possible, but Moonlit Battlegrounds will get fully eliminated now as the fight turns over between Rift and Fairly Odd enemies. They are pushing back on their northern side, though, because Solid have engaged a little bit. Trying to heal back up, Grab does not work out, and Rift tentatively waiting, and they're going to get engaged on in the meantime, backing up as the Oath comes through. Grab still not hitting, and Rift backing away as best they can.
Very, very good pull away there from Rift, and now straight into the grab. It's going to cause the fall through from the entire this roster. Chilling Finale pushed far and deep away, but it is a place of safety for Rift as we continue to move with this. So Fort Miles looking low, pulled out away. AoE group, it's a teleport from the Vantage, but it won't be picked up by everybody. Instead, now down to 3. Health on the board, but a place within the storm. They can't quite hold this one to gatekeep, though. They have to be respectful, though. Tim McGarfield definitely on the other side. They're more than happy to clean you up.
Yeah, Tim Garfield waiting for their opportunity, but they took some damage to do so. But now it is Rift a little bit too spread thin, lose a member as their myth will go down, and now Rift on the run here. Spike as well. You cannot pull that glider out. Tim Garfield capitalizing on this as in comes Solid with the crowd.
Solid. See you later. Good to hear from you. Pray for your team. Meanwhile, the storm over towards the edge. Boy, now picked apart in pieces. Still, 2 members of Rift left alive. A dip and a dive, a glide from above, and the entire Rift roster, even among all the chaos, have found their success. Boy continues to survive as well, and now with a campfire in play and the most wanted as well, they'll try to survive for moments longer.
We have 2 most wanteds active at the current moment. Solid running
there
one, and that's one of them already done. So Solid back in the game here, and Bald have set themselves up. Now Bald, for all that has happened to them this game, for them to be in this position, which is relatively, forgive the pun, relatively solid, they are doing really well with the cards they have been given here. As Rift going to be pushed away again. A minute 22 left on this most wanted, and with how pinched they are, I don't see it working out well for them.
Flying to the skies, unable to survive even with the use of the cloak there. That invisibility, they managed to just barely get out of dodge. It does seem like we see the remnants of Boy slowly putting themselves back together. Not just Retri anymore, but they can't really make much of an advantage here. Taking that would be huge away. Trying to chase B down. The surge is found, and this might be all said and done here for the Rift roster. Back up in full now.
Boy, making the clutch call to just go in on Rift 2v2. Health bars in their favor, and they get the knock. They get the full kill. And now, Boy, back into this. But definitely want to regroup a little bit here. Pumpers in prime position to take this fight here. As you can see, the poke already hitting, but Pumpers, if they full engage on this too soon, they will be collapsed on themselves. Boy, having to make the tough call to go in on Team Garfield, but Team Garfield are ready for them, and boy, are getting eviscerated. Pumpers now wanting to take advantage of this third-party opportunity, but they lose Chipsa. Chipsa just falls into the abyss, and now Pumpers left stranded.
I mean, at least they can play for the box here, given how confident they've set themselves up over towards the edge. But it's going to take some really nice coverage from Hot Biscuit over towards the north. You thank the Lord that Solid and Bald are finding themselves against each other in this monumental time. Pumpers are back within it, sustained for full revive, but we are down to our top four. Solid, Bald, Pumpers, just the likes of Tim Garfield. A camp set up on the edge of the zone. Solid playing for defense on the west, Tim on the east, on their way in.
This is great for Pumpers. Most importantly, it's giving them a place to heal up a little bit and give them vision across here. When Solid move over to the right, they are not losing vision of them. So they do have to keep their eyes behind them for Tim Garfield as well. Pumpers need to make a call eventually. Tim Garfield are gonna throw out a little storm grenade and try to move on Bald. We have two separate fights breaking out between these two teams.
And Sato getting a little bit of that mana back for what we can only assume might be a fusillade here in seconds ahead. Finally deep into that backline, investing for some sort of advantage against what I can only assume was Hot Biscuit. Doesn't come up with much of anything. Instead, Tim on the other side continuing to press for the advantage. Chilling Finale utilized out here from the likes of Snood to keep this team alive moments longer. Fearon with good shield advantage.
Another most wanted.
Really, really good. That is going to be the wipe or the utilization of that divine intervention from the likes of Bald here. They don't have that in their arsenal anymore for survivability.
So the question becomes now, if Tim move in on Bald like they are right now, will other teams try to capitalize on that? Bald holding out. Pumpers are in trouble though. They're losing HP fast, and they're going to try and stay alive through this, but I don't think it's working out very well. Bald looking to get in. They can't get the knock, though, and that's huge because that timer is not going to tick the full way down. They may be able to end Snood before that timer goes, but they're still preoccupied with Tim Garfield. As the Wisp is just getting punted away, can Frex get it? No, will not be able to, and Solid now trying to capitalize on the chaos.
Top two remaining, 3v4 here. The last member of Bald completely wiped out. A full engagement deep from the likes of Pedesado. We've seen this go well, but instead now they've got to switch it to the front. Bishop and Felix picking it apart piece by piece for the win here for a team that was on their last moments this game.